Okay, hello everyone. hello and welcome. Excuse me. As I clear my throat here. Welcome to the stream. Thank you everyone. And to clear out any confusion, to basically clear the air, so everyone know we're all on the same page here. We know what's going on here on the pre-stream. This pre-stream video, excuse me, is going to be both pre-stream and instructional video for those of you who are on the stream, but also for those of you on YouTube who are wondering what's going on with Resident Evil Revelations 2 Episode 2. And hopefully this will serve as a guide for the next couple of weeks for those of you who are also looking to get the episodes of the game and are wondering how to do it. Now I do have to give a special shout out before we start here to Purple Naruga, who is actually on the stream right now. I can see him in the chat, because this person told me on Twitter how to do this. First of all, notified me that the episode had been released last minute before I was about to stream, and then let me know how to get it. Because in all of their wisdom, Sony have decided to basically hide this kind of in a side menu rather than make it right up front in your face where you would think it would be, so that you could play it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, first of all, I forgot to say that I'm Darkside Phil. Maybe you thought that I was, I don't know, Ray Liotta. You know, I'd have that kind of sensual voice that, you know, tracks everyone. But anyway, yeah, I'm Darkside Phil. Welcome to the Resident Evil Revelations 2 Episode 2 live stream on PlayStation 4. We're going to be doing the entire episode here on stream. From all reports, it's about 2.5 to 3 hours long, just like the last episode. If we need to go a little bit longer, like we did for Episode 1, we will. Okay? Now, the reason that I'm talking to you about this is because there was much confusion overnight about when this episode would be available. People were asking, gee, does it make sense? Because Episode 1 was a midnight release on everything. On PlayStation, on Xbox. Everyone could get Episode 1 of Resident Evil Revelations 2 at midnight. And then a lot of people, because they liked the first episode, went to their respective game consoles last night and looked for Episode 2 and it wasn't there. And like, well, that's confusing and that's, you know, annoying because we really want to play Episode 2. Where the heck is it? And everyone's been trying all night, nothing, right? Then about, I'd say about an hour and a half ago, Capcom officially posted up on their Capcom Unity blog that it would be available in late afternoon to early evening Pacific Standard Time, which means on the west coast of the United States, it would be available later on in the day. And everyone was like, well, that's kind of frustrating, because, you know, again, why was Episode 1 available as a midnight release, and now you're telling us Episodes 2 through 4 are going to be available later on? Plus, by the way, there's bonus episodes that are supposed to be eventually released as well. So everyone's kind of like, that's annoying, right? And I was uncertain because I wanted to play this game on first stream today, and I had no idea if I was going to be able to, simply because I didn't know if it was going to be available, okay? And even as early as an hour ago, I had tried to jump on and download this, and it didn't work. It wasn't listed anywhere. You know, PlayStation Store had not updated. So for those of you who own the game on either PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, I'm going to show you how to get Episode 2 so that if you want to play it ASAP, you can. You don't have to wait for any kind of a different update or whatever, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump over to our, you know, our game. We're in game right now, just so you know. But I'm going to show you, if you go to your PS4 dashboard, it's going to be the same on PS3. All you need to do is go into your PlayStation Store, okay? Go into the PlayStation Store. It should have updated by now. If you're in the United States, let me rephrase this. If you're in the United States, it should have updated by now. If you're in the UK, there's a chance that it may be delayed, but I'm thinking this is still going to be the method you need to access Episode 2 and further episodes, okay? Now, you may say to yourself, oh, well, do I just go to the Resident Evil Revelations page? Because that would make sense, right? Just go to Resident Evil Revelations, because that's the new thing, right? No. Absolutely not, okay? There's two different ways that you can access this. Either, as you can see here, if you have not bought the Season Pass, okay, you have to go to New in your menu, and then you have to go to New Games. And if you're just going to buy the individual Episode 2, you skip by these terrible television shows. I'm actually kidding. I actually think that, well, I've seen Gotham. Gotham's alright. It's not great. Let's just skip by that. We're going to go over here, and here it is. You can buy episode 2, I believe, as an individual episode. Okay? Now, this is only the individual. If you bought the season pass, you don't want to do this. Alright? Because if you do this, you're wasting $6. You already bought the season pass. If you want to update that episode 2 on the season pass, you have to go to new add-ons, and this is pretty complicated, right? And go to the right, and you may say, oh, Resident Evil Revelations 2 right here, complete season. No, this is not it. This is a trick. This is not where you need to go. If you go there, it's not there. In fact, I'll show you. If you go there, all this does, it brings up the season pass, and if you hit start, it boots the game, but you don't have episode 2. Also, if you go down here, episode 2 is not down there. So you may be very confused and be like, I don't get it. How do I get it? You got to keep going to the right. You have to go all the way to the right, hit see more. Once you hit see more, there it is. See that? Episode 2 Contemplation. So you have to keep going to the right of add-ons to get it. Now, like I said, that's only if you bought the season pass. So there's 2 methods to get the episode. That's how you do it. I'm actually assuming that this will also be how episodes 3 and 4 are released. In addition, for those of you who bought the season pass, if you don't know, I'll actually show you here. If you bought the season pass, you're also going to get, if you see here in the listing, extra episode 1 and extra episode 2. So you're actually going to get 2 extra episodes. When are those going to be released? I don't know. In fact, I don't think Capcom even announced when exactly that's going to be released. So we do know that episodes 2 through 4 are going to be coming out weekly. So 2 today, 3 next week, 4 the week after, but we don't know when the extra ones are coming out. Okay? So there you have it. I hope that that helps people who are confused and wondering, how the heck do I play this thing? Why on earth, if you just go into the Resident Evil Revelations page, which I'm going to show you guys, this is how silly this is, right? So here's my library. Right? Let's go to Resident Evil Revelations. Where is it? Here it is. If you go into this, it just brings you to the page here, and it doesn't show you episode 2. It says out March 3rd. Look what happens when you click on this. Wow. Thanks. Information. Wow. Thanks a lot. That's really useful. Thanks a lot. And if you even look, like I said, if you go all the way down here is supposed to be view all, right? All the things available. If you go just into this page and you're looking around, episode 2 doesn't show up. It's literally hidden in that add-ons menu. I don't know why. I mean, it makes 0 sense. Look, everything here is a pay for this. Look, buy these raid mode add-ons, right? Buy all this. Buy. But you want episode 2 for your season pass? Too bad. So pretty frustrating, but hopefully this will help you guys to find it if you want to play it today, okay? So anyway, I digress. I'm already in the game, and the good news is I did test it. It is available. It is working. All right, so we are going to be playing episode 2 today. And it's going to be fun. Now, I have a quick thing to say. We're going to get started momentarily because I definitely know how long it is, okay? It's about 3 hours, and I want to be sure to finish it. But I have something I want to say. I want to get this off my chest, because I have not officially reviewed this game. A lot of people were saying, Phil, were you going to review episode 1? A lot of mainstream reviewers reviewed episode 1. And that was it. Alright? And here's what I have to say about that. First of all, this game is an episodic release. And we knew that it was going to have 4 episodes that were going to be released over the course of the month. I don't think it's fair to review just 1 episode. I don't. Now, you may say to yourself, but Phil, what about like The Walking Dead or other episodic games that come out months apart? That's different, because you're talking months and months to wait. In this case, you know the whole game is done and you're getting the game within a month. So just to review one portion of a game that you know will be completed by the end of the month, I think is irresponsible. That's number 1. Number 2, I read a bunch of the reviews for Resident Evil Revelations 2 Episode 1, because I heard that it was being critically panned. And when I heard this, I was like, critically panned? I loved it. I played it. I thought the controls were great. The graphics were 60 frames per second for the first time ever. I thought the story's interesting. Yeah, there's a few shortcomings. The game doesn't have the production values of Resident Evil 5 and 6 because it's not a full $60 retail release that had multiple years to be developed. In fact, from all reports, this game was made within about a year after the success of Resident Evil Revelations when it was ported to consoles. So it was pretty much a rushed game, right? And number two, some people are saying, oh, well, the enemies are repetitive. It's a repetitive setting. Well, no kidding. This is basically Resident Evil 8 when you think about it. If not a further version, what else could you do with it? I mean, at this point, there's not much originality-wise, I think, that you could do with the series. If you bought the game expecting Resident Evil-like gameplay with refined controls, great graphics, and the continuation of the story, you're going to love it. If you bought a $25 budget title, which is what this is, by the way, it's a $25 budget title. It's not a $60 retail release, and you play it for what it is, you're probably going to love it. And what I saw with a lot of these reviews, right, that people are saying is, oh, well, it doesn't look great, and it's basically just the same Resident Evil, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. And it's like, are you out of your fucking minds? And I hate to say it, but I saw a few reviewers, and I'm not going to call them out specifically because then people will give me shit. They basically reviewed the Order 1886, okay, and basically said, well, the game's not very good, limited gameplay, but amazing graphics, and this is like a good first try. When they make the sequel, it's going to be a lot better. It could be one of the best games ever made. So I'm going to give The Order a 6, but then they'll review Resident Evil Revelations 2 Episode 1 and say, I'll give it a 6.5 or a 7. So they say it's slightly better than The Order, but not very much. To which I say, are you out of your mind? The Order was a $60 retail release that you could beat within 6 hours. Okay? Well, just over 6 hours in my case. This is a game, an episodic game. You're going to guaranteed to have 4 episodes, if not more. Every episode's around 2 to 3 hours long, so you get more gameplay. It's better, in my opinion, more refined, better gameplay, and way more gameplay than The Order had. The only thing The Order had going for it was the graphics. But you're going to tell me that this game is only barely better. I don't know. I mean, again, this is all my personal opinion, right? And ultimately, that's what it's going to come down to, is people who review stuff are going to say, well, that's my personal opinion. But this is the issue that I have with reviewers, is that they don't weigh and balance games together. It's like they don't have an actual scale. They say their points about what they like and they don't like, and then they just give it a fucking number out of the sky. It's like, but what about everything else you've played? You know what I mean? And it pisses me off. It really does piss me off that this game basically got lower scores, but then when you compare it to other things that have come out recently, it's like, you would think that this game, they're just going to have 4 episodes of 3 hours each, plus 2 bonus episodes, plus a raid mode for $25. Tons more gameplay than The Order is only slightly better than The Order, even though it's less than half the price. And, you know, ultimately, I think what it comes down to, and I'll be honest with you guys, and then we'll get started because I'm on my soapbox now, is that a lot of these reviewers get the games for free. Okay? They get advanced copies of these games, and they get them for free. So unlike you and me, all right? You and me, you and I, because I'm talking directly to my viewer when I do this stuff. You guys know that. I consider myself on the same level as you guys, right? We pay for our games. So I feel the sting every time I take my wallet out and I put down $60 on the counter to get a game, and I go home and the game sucks, or the game's too short, or the game was overhyped and it's a waste of time. I feel it. You know what I mean? I don't think these reviewers feel it, because they all work for media, journalism, right? Oh, he's a journalist, give him the game for free a week ahead of time. So, of course, if you didn't pay any money, right, and you got the Order 1886, and you got Resident Evil Revelations 1, and you played them both, you don't feel this. You don't realize that the episode 1 of this game, in comparison to what you paid, is much better than the value that you got for the Order. You wouldn't realize that because you didn't pay for it. And that's what I mean about these journalists, who are just journalists, by the way, who think that they know anything about gaming, and then they get these games for free, they play through them, they put down their judgment on them, and then everyone goes to Metacritic, reads the frickin' review number, right? They don't read the review, they just see the number, and they say, well, that game's no good. Bullshit. And honestly, bullshit. Episode 1 was great. Now, I'm going to judge Episode 2 and the further episodes objectively, based off of what I see. But no, sorry. This game is not just slightly better than the Order right now for me. In my opinion, it's twice as good. Because you get twice the amount of gameplay, a better story, way more scares and jumps, and the game actually is what it claims to fucking be for half the price. So there you have it. You know, if you feel the sting of the dollar when you actually buy your games, you're probably going to tend to rate them properly rather than, oh, well, everything's free. This game is, you know, repetitive monsters, outdating settings, 7 out of 10. Instead of, well, yeah, but it's $25 and I'm getting 3 more episodes versus, you know, the recent $60 purchases I made and those games got beaten in a couple hours. That's what you really have to look at if you're going to be a professional reviewer. Or, I shouldn't say professional, I should say honorable and trustworthy and worth your time. Because the bottom line is when you're called a professional, it just means you make a living doing it. It doesn't mean that you're good at it. And that's the bottom line when it comes to these guys who are doing these reviews, in my opinion. Okay? So that's just my soapbox. I'll get off my soapbox now. I hope that you guys now know how to get these episodes, and I hope that you know my opinion moving forward. I'm excited. I really loved episode 1 last week. I'm very much looking forward to playing episode 2 right now. I thank you guys for being here live on stream, or if you're watching this on YouTube, I thank you as well. I just spilled water, no lie. I just spilled water all over my desk in front of me. As I was about to end the pre-stream, I grabbed my bottle of water, didn't realize the cap was open, and I grabbed it so hard that it exploded water all over my desk. And now I'm covered in water. It's all over my desk. A little bit got on my laptop. I'm trying to frantically dry this off right now. I got too excited. I got too excited. This is what happens. I get too worked up. Alright, let me clean this up. Oh, Jesus. Even though I have a coaster here on my desk and it's sprayed all over. It's under the coaster. I squeezed the bottle so hard. Here we go. Dry off the bottle. God damn. Okay. Whew. Alright, I think we're almost ready. I think we're almost ready. I got so worked up. I got so worked up and it whoosh everywhere. Alright, I'm putting it down here we go. I put a napkin down here under the bottle of water that's now soaked. My hand is completely soaked. Alright, I'm going to end the pre-stream. I'm going to take a second here to compose myself. I'm going to get a blow dryer and blow dry myself, and then we're going to get started with episode 2. Thanks, everyone. Here we go.